Hello, happy Monday. Thank you for joining me. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery kits. And I am here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And it's a time where we can relax and craft together for about an hour. And we work on projects from beginning to end so you can be part of the whole process along the way. So tonight we are continuing with the Splendid Sampler 2 Quilt Along. Here is the book, and we are starting a new block. And I'm kind of in pieced block mode still. I didn't want to switch to embroidery or applique yet. We did a pretty good block. We finished Estelle on Friday. And this one had a lot of teeny tiny pieces in it, itty bitty squares. And we did a pretty good job at sewing it together as far as our seam allowance. So I'm taking that, in theory, confidence at where my seam allowance is at, and I'm going to leap into the Happy Trails block. So if we thought the Estelle had a pile of small pieces, this is the Happy Trails block. It is made of only teeny tiny pieces. So look at all of these that go together just to make a 6.5-inch block. It is crazy, crazy town. So I thought, you know what? Might as well tackle that while we're feeling good about our tiny pieces. And I know there's a few of you guys who have started this one as well. So I thought it'd be a good time as any. So I'm going to flip you around and we will start picking some fabrics. That's going to be a little bit of a challenge as well, since for my quilt I'm doing all these very pale fabrics, and so we still want to have this kind of scene with the trees and the mountains and all that. So we'll have to give it a go. All right, I'm going to flip you guys around and we'll get going. Yeah, so Ashley's mentioning that some of these look like they could be strips, and I'm gonna address that a little here. So let's open this up. I got all my fabrics, all my fabric choices out here. It's not quite for a time for my pop of color. So every 5 blocks, I'm doing a block with a pop of color in, but this is my block 39. So I have one more before I throw some color in. So I'm gonna attempt, I thought it'd be a good challenge for me to do this with just my pale colors. It's kind of like, can I get the same effect with pale colors is kind of what I'm wondering. So here's what Ashley was saying. We could, in theory, instead of putting all of these tiny squares together, I mean, in theory, look, we can do a 3 by however many squares these are. We could just cut one big strip for that, you know what I mean? However, the neat thing about cutting all these tiny squares is look at the interesting texture you can start getting because of patterned fabrics cut up. So, if you cut a strip like this or even smaller strips, you wouldn't get all this little peppery texture. And same here, like look at all this fun texture that's happening. There's something really neat about that. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to do it in all the tiny pieces and see if we can get some of that texture. Which also brings up another thing with my particular block for this. I have typically been using white for the background of all mine, all my blocks. But in this case, I think I'm going to stick to a pattern for all of this. And I do have white craft tex. So this is leather, but I have craft tex paper, which kind of it feels like leather, but it's kind of a paper, and it has a kind of crinkle look to leather, but it's something that I think I'll be able to wash through the wash and everything. So I do have a white version of that, so I might make a little white horsey here. So we might do pattern for all of this, and then my white will be this applique. This is an applique piece. And actually, it would work great with all these little cut pieces. I'm guessing, yeah, this main is like fringe that we're cutting. So that would work really, really well with the craft text paper as well. And I didn't put a link for that craft text on here yet, but I will as we keep working on this, if you guys are wanting to experiment with that craft text. I did do a webinar with Sulky on craft text and how to make it look more like leather and everything. So you could check out that webinar on the Sulky website as well. Okay, so let's give this a go. So our big thing, I'm going to leave this out here so we can see it while we pick color. Oh, and my mom is in here. She said that this would be a great one for the webbing or the net way of sewing our blocks together. So remember what it is when we do that. We sew, instead of sewing by rows, we sew by columns, and then each little piece is held together. We never snip. Like we never snip in between rows, and we end up with this whole web, like a whole grid holding every single piece together, and it's kind of amazing. So, and it looks like the intention is to get all of our pieces together first before sewing it together. So yes, the webbing style is gonna work amazing for this block, for sure. The trick is having all our pieces laid out and not having them all like blow away. All right. Oh, Patricia, you cut yours already, and they're so tiny. I know, I'm a little scared for these. I guess they're all like 1 inch. It looks like they're 1 inch, all of them. So how can they be 1 inch? Because this is going to end up being way more than that. Oh, wait, because we lose a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch each time. So this must be 12. 4, 8, 12. Yeah. So, all right, we're going to do it. So let's look at fabrics. Like I said, I'm not going to use white at all because I want the textured. But something I think we need to stay with is a light background and then this dark horizon line. Kind of like all y'all who know about winter. In the gray of winter, you have like the gray, the white snow, the white sky, and then like the dark tree line. I kind of love that. So I think that's kind of where I'm going to start by picking fabrics, and then we'll fill it in with some of these things. So I'm going to pick, I think for this top, I had one in mind. And again, the other thing is I'm getting low on some of my fabrics, so we're going to have to work within that as well. Like I was kind of thinking this for the sky because we have some of these fun little details peppered through. Oh yeah, I should be able to get, this is about 10 inches, I think. I should be able to get 44 squares out of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. I'll probably just have enough for this. So I think we'll use this for the sky, or let's just start there. So I'm going to just lay this out up here as if it's sky. And then I want to find, like, what's my darkest fabric here? I think it's still this brown. Do I have anything darker? Oh, this is kind of some aerial perspective here too. So aerial perspective, I don't know if you guys have heard of that before, but you know, perspective is like when 2 points go off into the distance, like a building, it will go to like a vanishing point. That's kind of just normal, like artistic perspective, but aerial perspective is when you look further and further back into the sky. Like imagine a mountain range. The mountains that are the way furthest back, like the off in the distance mountains, they will be closer and closer to color of the sky. So like if there's a blue sky, way off, the ones way far in the distance, because of the air, you know, everything that's in the, I think it's, you know, because of particles and stuff in the air, but the things that's furthest away is going to be almost similar to the sky, whereas what's closer is going to be, you know, like more in detail, and it's just going to be a little bit different color. So if we had a blue sky, the mountains in the back would be almost blue, versus in front they might be, you know, deep brown or something. That's not a great explanation, but this might be a good idea. So instead of doing like a bright pop of color, what's going to make like the mountain range look more like it's off in the distance is if I get it closer to the color of my sky. So I have these kind of two tans here. That's going to feel like these mountains are closer or farther away in the distance compared to if I put this. So if I put a brighter color in front, that's going to feel closer to us than the thing that matches the sky. So this might be a way to go. These could be the mountains. And, you know, here's this yellow. We might as well just keep with that. We could make that our, you know, yellow brick road, sort of, I suppose. Okay, we got like 3 other colors hiding out in here too. So this looks like it might be kind of grass. So let's say that this grass is on the same kind of plane as this yellow brick road. So I could maybe do another yellow to make it feel, ooh, how about flowers? What if this is a road through a field of pale flowers? Ooh, that's cute. Okay, I like that. All right. I'm not so sure about this yellow road, but I do really love these flowers. This is awfully pretty together. Okay. I have a question mark on this road now, but let's see what else. Oh, it's just this red. All right, so this is jumping out at me. Why don't we do more flowers? We could have those. This is maybe too close. This is maybe too close to the sky. I think maybe I want something more yellow so it looks more in the foreground. These look like maybe it's tall grasses in the distance or something. So let's err on a pale or a yellow color versus a tan color. We kind of have tan colors and yellow colors in my palette here, so I think we should go with something brighter, something yellower. That would be kind of nice. Okay, I kind of like this. It's a little plaid or a little like gingham next to these flowers. That's kind of sweet. Yeah, nothing's really gonna pop, Patricia, in my blocks just because it is. I am dealing with just this pale color palette. Here, I'm gonna get you guys a little higher so we can see this yet. All right, but I'm definitely thinking this brown is gonna help separate the background from the foreground. What if we did? No, you know what? I think I still like this pop of yellow for the road. I think I like it. All right, one thing I want to just peek at. So I saw some white in my thing. So this would be like the horse. So if I do a white horse, oh, a white would pop against all of this. So I think a white horse is gonna finish my palette here. Okay, I like it. I think this is what we're gonna do here. Decision made, let's move on. Yep. We're gonna do that fun, weird yellow there. Oh, I don't need this white. Okay. I might just lay this like here so I can remember what goes where as well. Now I'm just thinking, I wonder, so I have this board right here. This is just a white piece of board. This is actually what I take my photos on when I'm done, you know, before I do the YouTube. I think I might use this as my tray to put all my little pieces on. Then I can lift that up and I won't, they won't get all moved around and stuff. I think that's gonna be my little, I need some sort of tray to put these things in. So, all right, let's start. I'm gonna hold on to this so I don't forget where they all go, but we are gonna start cutting with our sky fabric. So that's the blue. So we need 44, it's just so crazy to say, 44 1-inch squares, and then we need 3 extra squares that are 1.5 inches. I'm guessing that's for some half square triangles we got hidden in here. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5, wait, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 half square triangles. So yeah, we need the 3 extra to do that. Okay. And all I have left of this fabric is this little chunk. This is going to be all that we, this is going to be like it, maybe, for this fabric in our quilt. I'm just giving it a quick iron. We might be able to use some of this for some paper piecing or something over here yet. I do need to get on the paper piecing train again because I think that's what I have a couple unfinished blocks and they're all paper pieced blocks. All right, so I'm getting a nice edge here. Let's get the cutting glove on. Trying to make that a habit. We'll see if it sticks. Oh gosh, I'm already moving everywhere. Ugh, I'm gonna have to do that again. That's why I don't like this ruler. I like my bigger ruler here a little bit better. That one I seem to pivot on a lot. This is another block where precision is going to be very kind of key to sewing together all these itty bitty squares. Okay, 1 inch. So this was about 10 inches. I think I just measured that. Yeah, so this is just 10 inches. So if I get 4 cuts out of here, which that looks like I should get at least 4 cuts, then I can lay them on top of each other and cross cut them all. Yeah, a design board would be a super good idea for this block. So a design board is, you can get like a piece of flannel or even cotton batting. Maybe I should find some cotton batting. But your pieces will stick to those things. And you can lay one of those down and stick all your pieces to it, and then you won't lose any. All right, here's my first strip. You know, I like those Olfa rulers a little bit, or the OmniGrid rulers, I mean, a little bit better for just precision and lining up the edge. I think the lines are a little bit smaller on it, so I feel like I'm being a little bit more precise, but I don't have a big, long one like this. Right now I need this long one here. I think it's going to look cute with all these little fun things floating around in the sky. Uh-oh. Where is this connected? Oh, must be time to change my blade again. So far, just that one little spot caught. Going slow. All right, there's that. And then we need, I'm going to set these aside quick. We still need 3 squares that are 1.5 inches. So that's 3 4.5 inches worth. 1.5 inches. Okay, I'm going to get it from this chunk up here. So I'm going to just kind of Frankenstein cut it out of here. Oh gosh, it's hard to manipulate fabric holding these giant gloves. All right, so I'm going to just kind of just cut my chunk out of here that I need. So I need 3 4.5 inches. 4.5. Let's see. I got a straight edge there. Here, this is how I want to do it. Four, 1, 2, 3, 4.5. All right. This is the ruler I like. The lines are just printed smaller and I can really line them up on the edge of the fabric. There. We got a big chunk of this fabric left. So we have all this remaining, so that's good. We can use it again. All right, we need 3 1.5-inch bits out of here. And I'm going to set those aside so I don't get all messed up with my 1-inch strips. 1. So again, this is what's going to turn into half square triangles. I believe, if I had to guess. Two. Three, okay. Little scruff on the end. All right, I'm gonna just set these up on my tray. I suspect once we cut these out, they'll just be shushed away, and our first step really after cutting is gonna be making these half square triangles. So I'll just gonna leave that at the bottom of my tray, and let's trim these up. So I'm gonna stack all these on top of each other. I don't think oh yeah, we have a little carryover. So I need 10 of these. So I'm gonna do my best to line up these edges, the long edges. Because it's those long edges, if we want these to be square, we don't want to like have them angled at all. So I'm going to do my best to get them all lined up. Okay, there we go. And I'm also going to align it to one of my rule lines here. I think that'll make things a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm going to trim the edge with that OmniGrid ruler that I like here, and then I'm going to rotate my whole mat and cut out my, how many do I need to do? 11. So I need 44 of these. That's crazy town. Okay, get a nice edge here. Okay. Now we'll cut out our 11. We have a stack of 4 here, so we just need 11. Well, so what part of the block is this fabric? This is going to be my sky. So again, if you guys are just coming in, I started by picking the fabric, and all of my fabric, this isn't one of my every 5 blocks ones, so every 5 blocks I use kind of a bright colored fabric. I throw one of those in there, but this is not one of those. So I had to use all my pale color fabrics. So that was a little bit of a challenge. So it was, how can we still get the effect of this, the skyline and all of this with these kind of pale fabrics. But even when you're using all pale fabrics like this, there's still going to be some that are lighter or darker than others. And some that are a little brighter or duller. So you still have tools to play with as far as color goes. It's just not as going to be as high contrast or, bright to dull or contrast that way either, or light to dark as some other blocks, but there's still the ability to create some contrast. So we'll see how it goes. It's an experiment. I definitely wanted to see if we could create the scene with just these pale colors. And we talked about a little bit too, why don't I just do some strips? Because at the top of this block, it is just, a long bit. I mean, you could divide this whole block up and into shapes and just do some bigger shapes instead of all these little itty bitty ones. But there's something that I liked about the texture you could create by cutting up pattern fabrics and sewing them all back together. I think that's just kind of neat. And I think it's maybe part of the charm of the block too. So we're doing it that way. We're giving that a go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait a sec. Oh, I needed an 11-inch piece. I only had enough for a 10-inch piece. I'm gonna have to cut more, boo! I'm like, wait a sec, I need 11 of these. I'm only gonna get 10 out of here. So I need to cut one more strip. Guess I'm not done with that fabric. I only need, I'm only gonna need 4 more, but I do need those 4. I needed 4 11-inch strips, not 4 10-inch strips. Yeah, well. Okay. But now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. That's what we need. And I'm going to just leave those there for now. We'll start laying this out right away, I think, before moving on to the next fabric. All right. This, I think, is still square from the last time we cut it. So I'm just going to, well, I'm going to use my ruler that I like now, too. I'm going to rotate it. Let's just cut down the edge here. Get 4 more. There we go. So I think this edge was the square edge still. I'm just calling it square. It looks pretty good. So 4. 1. And I'm not gonna worry really about where they go as far as next to each other. Like I could decide like, oh, this one with the red dot looks really cute next to this one with the yellow dot, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna place them all and that's where they're gonna live. Especially with a little print like this, I don't think that's gonna matter. Okay, 1 more. Now we should have enough. Okay, so I'm gonna just start laying out this grid. And you know, there's a guide in here. So we have this as a guide, you know, we have this as a guide, and you know, we can just look at the picture too. So I'm gonna just use that, and I'm gonna start laying it out on my whiteboard here. So I'm gonna just stack all these. And this whiteboard is what we'll use later to just get all these together. What I like about this is I can move this. So it is 12 squares. So the one thing I have to worry about with this particular fabric is it looks very similar, the right side and the wrong side. So I'll just have to make sure the right side is up. Actually, you know, flipping a few with the wrong side might actually be pretty cute, but we'll just let it be. So the first 3 rows just look like it's 12. I'm going to keep these a little separated just because I think they might be a little easier to grab later. All right, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, if this was flannel, this would be way nicer. Or batting or flannel on this board, it would hold together. But I'm just having faith that, you know, we don't open the window and it won't blow everywhere. You know, we're going to be working on this block for the next couple nights. So, you know, I think it's fine. But if you're working in a location where there's any chance of things getting awry, I would definitely reconsider how you're doing this. I think laying it out like this is nice, but yeah, you'll want to put down some flannel or something. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, geez, we need 1 more. I think this is pretty wide. I'm going to have to scooch all these up on this board so I have enough space. Oh my God, this is going to be one of those blocks that's huge until you sew it together and it's going to just shrink down. Because this is pretty big right now. Well, it's at least going to shrink by half because this is 12 1-inch squares, so that's 12 inches plus all our little spaces. So this is probably about 13 inches worth of space, or 14 inches. That's going to shrink down to like about this big. Isn't that crazy? I think that's just, we're using a lot of fabric, that's for sure. All right, so I need 3 rows like this. I'm just gonna, let's plop them right next to each other. There, this will be a little bit easier to grab with the space in between, I think. I think this is going to be another little exercise in patience and just double checking where things go. And it's going to be good though, because really it's not that hard, right? It's just a bunch of squares together. And, you know, a couple, hardly any half square triangles. And we've been doing piles of half square triangles lately, so that's nothing new. This is just, you know, it's just the main thing, like technique-wise, I think for this is just going to be really trying to stay true to that scant 1/4 inch seam allowance, or just the seam allowance that you're used to, that you've been working with, that has achieved the result of having your block be the right size when you're done. So whatever it is, your seam allowance that you've been using for that is what we're going for. And I think based on the Stell block that we finished, I think I have a pretty good grasp on that. So what better time to do this one? Okay, so the first 3 rows, that's this. I still have a pile in my hand here though, so let's see what else. Okay, we have, this is kind of like cross stitch where you have to count each square. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, the next row, I don't do the first one. The first one is going to be a half square triangle, so I'm going to leave the half square triangle ones blank. Ooh, and I think I flipped a pile of these. Okay, so what did I say? 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1. Yeah, I flipped all these around. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then it's another half square triangle. There's one way at the end on this row, right there. And then I think we go down here a little bit. I just have 2 more. Okay, there we go. I think that's right. And then we have like some half square triangles happening here. So, okay. Now I am nervous about that I don't have this on flannel or board, but oh well. Too late now, we're sticking with it. And now the heater just started blowing. So now I'm worried about, will that affect things? But I think we're still good. So there it is. I have it up there. Here it is from far away. So there, so far so good. It looks like the table of elements. Okay. Let's move on. We are done with that first color. So what do we have next? The navy floral piece. So they're referring to this background color. So our background color is this dark tan. So again, I'm kind of leaving these in the same position so I remember what's what. All right. I have a ruler avalanche over here. Okay, the other thing, I don't want to whip my fabric up there and shush all my little pieces around. So this is all I have left of this fabric, but this should be plenty as well. Okay, we need 21 or 27 1-inch squares. All right, so let's see. This looks like we could get, if this is 12 inches, we can get at least 24. So this is, well, have to trim it about here. Oh wait, let's measure this way. All right, so this again is about a 10-inch bit that we can get out of here. So, gosh, do we even have enough for that? We could do 3 rows. Wow, I'm a little even scared to do that though. I'm not sure we'll have enough. How much do we have this way? 4 inches. And then we could get an extra out of here. I think we're going to cross cut this. So this is just because if I cut 3 rows of 10, so that'll be 30. I only need 27, but you know, it'd be easy to cut 3 rows of 10. If I did that, I don't think I'm going to have enough for my 1.5 inch squares because I still need 3 1.5 inch squares. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cross cut them this way. Maybe I should still, yeah, I don't know. We're going to cross cut and then I will cut it again the other way because then I think we'll at least be able to preserve this area over here a little bit. So I'm going to just quick press this. Okay, and there we are. So I'm going to get myself a nice edge over here. I got some little tick marks out of there, so I got to deal with that. Oh, I can use my favorite ruler at least. That's nice. All right, because we got 4 inches here. All right, so I need like 7 or so of these, but I have some extras here. So let's just flip it around. Get some fuzzles out of the way. All right, so I'm going to need to cut the edges really nice still, but let's just get the amount that we need. We need 27, was that what I said? Yeah, okay. So this is 4. Ooh, going off the table. Okay, 8. Okay, and then 12, and then I might jump to where this tall area is. Not cutting it in the most efficient way, but we're cutting it in the efficient way to have fabric left over. All right, so what's this? This is just 6 inches. So, okay, what was this, 12? Oh, I might be able to get 2 out of here. Are there any little tick marks? No, I think we're good. So I'm gonna go right here. Okay, so another 6 on the 12. So this is gonna be 18. Oh, we're gonna have lots of fabric left over. Okay, I'm really happy we cut it out this way because we are gonna have more fabric than if I would have cut it the long way. Okay, so let's see if I can get another 6 out of here. It's gonna be close. Is this 1 inch? Oh, I'm totally calling that an inch. It is just, I'll be cutting away just frayed bits, but I think it's still gonna qualify. So this is 24. Haha, yep, that's perfect. 24, and then we'll have enough with this strip. Great. We'll even have 1 extra. And I'm gonna cut my, what do we need? 3 1.5 inch, so that's 4.5 inches that we need again. Is that, ooh, and we might be able to get that out of here too. So let's cut on the 1.5 inch. All right. There we are. Ooh, look at all this fabric we have left. Way more than I was expecting. So, all right, I'm gonna just shimmy these out of the way and take care of this 1.5 inch bit Let's get rid of all these fuzzles first. Okay. And we need 3 1.5 bits out of here. What's neat is as we lay this out on the board, we're going to get a sense of what it looks like immediately. It'll just be huge instead of the little tiny piece it'll end up being. But it'll be a really good representation of what we're getting, minus some half square triangles. There we are. Okay, so these are for the half square triangles. Again, I'm going to lay those to the side, and then we're going to deal with these guys. So I think I'm going to try and layer them again. Because oh gosh, some of these are short. Okay, yeah, I'm going to try and cut all 6 at once. Oh wait. Yep, we have 6. So I'm going to put the tall ones down first. And luckily we have 1 extra of these if we need it. All right, then these 2. So I'm just trying to line up a long edge and get this edge as much as I can. So I'll trim that edge and then we'll flip this around and then cut our 1-inch bits. Yeah, these I'm just getting 4 inches out of. That's all I need. Okay. Line up some edges. I'm just gonna shave off this edge over here. And 6 is really my limit here for cutting these. And actually, it might be smarter to not do this many layers together for cutting. I'm going to rotate my whole mat here. Just because, you're pushing the fabric a bit when you cut. So my squares might not be perfectly square because I am pushing them a little bit more than I want. But we're doing it anyway. There, see how I'm pushing it a little bit? And oh my gosh, I don't think I even went through all of them. Oh, this is probably a horrible idea, but we'll see how it goes. Oh gosh, are those even separated? No! All right. Okay, yikes. All right, here's another stack. Oh, you have some craft text, Lucy. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to work fine. I haven't really tested how it holds up in the wash. However, it is just like what they make. It's pretty much, I think, what they make like Levi's jeans. Sometimes when jeans, instead of having a leather patch, it'll have kind of like that papery type patch. It's kind of like that. So it is pretty durable. Craft text. So I don't know. I suppose if it doesn't hold up, it doesn't hold up. Oh well. Oh gosh, I did that again. Yep, my blade needs to be sharper. Oh, wool would be really pretty too. Ooh, I wonder if I have some white wool. Huh. Now I kind of want to use wool. We'll get both out and we'll just see. But I guess, the craft text will have that leathery look, and that's kind of what this block is showing. So maybe we'll stick to the craft text just because of that leather look, not wool look, the leather look. All right, there we go, made it through. That was a little bit too many layers for my rotary cutter blade at this point, but we made it. So maybe before tomorrow, I'll have to find some rotary blades. I think I have some here. I'll have to check it out, but we might need a new blade. So let's lay these guys out on the grid. All right, so there are a lot of half square triangles, so there will be some holes here. I'm just gonna go row by row. So here are these. So I should have one extra of these because I think I cut out 28. Okay, the next row. Okay, that's a half square triangle. So here and here. So half square triangle, then 2, then a half square triangle, and then 6. So this better be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that worked. And the next row looks like a full row. So let's do the whole thing. Ooh, gray dappled wool. Ooh, that would be pretty too. Oh, I have some wool like that. I have like some gray wool that has like a herringbone pattern. Ooh, that would be really pretty. You wonder if they notice if you take it off their jeans. That would be funny. I think that's a great idea, Jennifer. I really love that idea. Just straight stealing some of that Craftex, kind of that fake leather, just stealing it straight up from someone's jeans. I like it. Like your way of thinking there. All right, but we're starting to get our little horizon line here. Our little 8-bit horizon line. Okay, now what? Next row, skip 2 and then 3. All right, and then it looks like just 2 on the end. I should have 1 left over. And there it is. Okay, great. I'm gonna totally move this out of the way so I don't think that I've missed one. Okay. Oh, Craftex, it's a paper. Jane, it's kind of like on, like Levi's jeans, the like label on the back, on like the back pocket. It kind of looks and feels like leather, but it's actually like a paper. You can actually sew through it, and it's just kind of a neat material, and I think that might work perfect for this kind of, instead of using actual leather, it might work as a alternative to that. Okay, there we go. Here's our, it doesn't look like much, but it's something so far, so let's see. I'm wondering, let's see, what do we have to do next? We might be able to get one more out of here tonight. So, all right, I'm going to shimmy this down again. Let's try and do one more of these. The red print square, I'm using this tan, so it's this here. Or I'm using this kind of like cute little ginghamy yellow. We don't need that many out of here, so let's just do this one quick. We need 8 squares that are 1 inch, and then 1 square that's the 1.5, and those are for those half square triangles again. So, all right, this looks like I might be 8 inches right there, which would be perfect. Gosh, I have a lot of this fabric. Oh yeah, perfect. So let's just, ooh, my iron is off. Let's give this a little press, and then, oh, I think I can Frankenstein a little bit out of there. Ooh, corduroy would be beautiful for the horse. I wonder how, I haven't used corduroy in a while. I wonder how well it frays, because this will be a raw edge applique. And it wouldn't have to be, I suppose. You could needle turn this applique too, or fuse it down. Well, yeah, we'll be fusing it for the raw edge applique. Okay. You know, this looks like a pretty good straight edge, but we're gonna make our own again. Actually, it does look a little curved, so I always like making a new straight edge. So let's do that. Get the cotton glove on again. Oh my gosh, you guys, look, I have a huge crack in my watch, and I use this watch for swimming and stuff too, so I don't know if I'll be able to wear it swimming anymore. I'm super bummed. Yesterday, it was just a tiny crack in the morning that I noticed. I'm like, oh, that's weird. And then by the end of the day, it was this big, long crack, so I'm just bummed. All right, I'm gonna rotate this. Ooh, denim could be very cute for the horse too. Okay, 1 inch. There we go, and then I'll cut that other one back. I don't know what happened. The crack was just there, the small crack, and then it got bigger. So I'm just folding this in half to just be a little bit more efficient. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but we're giving it a go. And I looked on the website, and they're like, basically, you know, they don't cover for glass breaking. And I don't even know if they make this one anymore, so boo. Oh, Debbie! So over the weekend on Sunday, my friend today I think was her opening day. She's opening up a eyelash place, like an eyelash shop, salon, I suppose. I don't know what you'd call it. But she does eyelashes, and she's great. She's training other people to do lashes up to, you know, a good standard, because that's not always the case at all. So she does a lot of education, and then she opened up this like lash place. So to just test it out on Sunday before she went live, I guess, I gotta go in and get my lash tint and lash lift. And what that means, the lash tint is just like coloring the lashes. So it ends up being just darker. So sometimes like your lashes are darker at the bottom, and as like at the tip they're not as dark. So this makes it dark the whole way, which makes it kind of like you have mascara on, basically, which is awesome. So that's semi-permanent. She said that'll last like maybe 3 or 4 weeks. And then the lash lift is sometimes called a lash perm, because I think it's basically, that's basically what it is. I'm doing my 1.5 inch square here. But so you put like a silicone or rubber or something rod kind of underneath or like on top of your lashes, and then I think the lashes get kind of curled up, like with some glue or something, I don't know, onto the top, or curled around this bar, this silicone or rubber bar. And then the perm solution or whatever goes on there. And then, some solution to stop the perm, and then some whatever cleanup solution, whatever, some sort of magic. And then it basically stays curled to the to what that bar was a little bit. So it's like you've curled your lashes, and then with the tint, it's like you have mascara. So it's like you've curled and put mascara on without doing squat. And I was pretty impressed. It was exciting. I've never done lashes or anything like that before. And it was pretty neat to wake up and be like, ooh, it looks like I did my eyelashes already. All right, so here's our one of these. So let's do the grid of this. Oh, look, I'm already messing it up. Out of here, cutter. All right, so where do these red fellers go? This entire bit, so this is 5. Oh, it's gonna look cute. It's cute so far. 3, 4, 5. Oh gosh, I need to get these sewn as soon as possible so they're not flying around anymore. All right, and then 3. 1, 2, 3. Gosh, I hope I left enough space down here. All right, so there we are, and then a half square triangle goes here and here. Okay, so I think that is it for the night. So that took about an hour here just to prep, but we only have 2 more fabrics. So we have, this is kind of like the green grass area back here. I'm doing this kind of yellow with the flowers, and then we're doing this wacky bright yellow just because it stands apart from my other yellows. That'll be our little like yellow brick road here. So that is the plan for tomorrow. But then we can get sewing. I think we'll actually get sewing tomorrow as well because I don't think that cutting will take that long. And we'll be starting with these half square triangles. So if we can cut the rest and get all of our half square triangles done tomorrow, that means Wednesday we can just sew this puppy together. And I mean, it'll take some time, but once we start sewing, I actually don't think it's going to take forever, especially when we do that webbing style of sewing. And that is definitely what we're going to want to do here, just to hold all of our pieces. We will not get confused at all. So if you're worried about keeping this all in order while you sew, definitely come by Wednesday, which is when I suspect we'll be starting the sewing of this, because that webbing style will just hold it all together and we won't lose track of anything, and that'll be just nice. Like, we won't mess up our rows later after we sew all the bits. So that will be fun. Okay, yeah, I know I need a bigger space than I thought, right? It's huge because, like, you know, like my hand's this big. This is gonna end up being this big. Isn't that what's crazy? All of these pieces, all this fabric is gonna end up that big. That'll be fun to watch too. It's gonna get sucked up this way and then sucked up that way. So, all right, I'm gonna lay this up here and I'll flip you guys around. Oh, here, let me just show you. It looks kind of neat a little farther away. So there we go. So now we can start getting a sense of, here we go, here is the horse. So there you can kind of start seeing the mountains develop there. Definitely got some contrast between the sky and the mountains, and I feel like those look further back, and then all these yellows are gonna be up front. And I think those are gonna look a little bit closer. So we just have this green and this yellow, and that'll be that. I'm excited. All right, I'm gonna flip you guys around and we'll call it an evening here. All right, so here are the eyelashes. I don't know if you guys can tell, but so they're like dyed and curled up. So I didn't do anything to them. And they look just curly and upright. so that's nice. But yeah, so that was a little treat for sure. So, all right. So if you're in town, yeah, look, they look big and curly. If you're in town, go to Whiplashes. It's in Northeast Minneapolis, but it's with Lynn at Whiplashes, and her space is amazing. It's her grand opening today, and she's just the best. So go check her out if you're in the Minneapolis area. So awesome, you guys. I will get back here tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And I'll get this up on YouTube. So if you want to watch me figure out how to cut this stuff again, it'll be up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great evening. Good night.